There's something going on in Jehovah's Witness land right now. Now, if you've been watching me for a while, you'll know that I'm an ex-Jehovah's Witness, so I follow this stuff pretty closely. When there are rumblings under the ground, I want to check it out, see what's happening. I follow the XJW subreddit to see what they're up to, see what's going on, because there are a lot of people there that are fresh out of their religion or even still in it. And it sounds like they're turning their message from one of good news to judgment. Now, if you don't know what that means, it basically means Armageddon is here, pretty much. Back in 2016, they released this video called the Bunker Videos. It was a series of videos at their convention that they hold every year, right? And just to give you an idea of what happened, it was a small group of people that are all kind of sitting around in a room. It looks like a bunker or a basement of some sort, and they're chatting. Not enough chairs for everybody, if you notice in this image here. And they're talking about their loyalty to Jehovah. And they go through each person. They each have an example of how they remained loyal to God. Remaining loyal to God is one thing, right? But that's not what they're really doing. They're remaining loyal to the organization, Jehovah's Witnesses. So they detail all of their experiences of remaining loyal to this organization. And it comes to a point where they're talking to each other, and then they hear a knock on the door, and there's this big reveal.
When I think how far we are now into the...
Into the what? There's a knock on the door, an ominous knock. Oh, and they got a code. Because knowing somebody is in there and knowing that there's a code wouldn't tip anybody off, like police, that there's somebody in there that shouldn't be. Right, okay. Go on. I'm listening. So he gives him the head nod. Go ahead, open it. Could be the police. He opens it. I mean, it's another Jehovah's Witness family. They believe they're gonna be hunted. Seriously, this is just painful and embarrassing.
How was it out there? It's not good. It won't be long, maybe an hour. Is Kevin with you? He said he's not coming. That he doesn't want to have anything to do with us anymore.
Wise decision.
How sad. Now, this far into the Great Tribulation.
That was the big reveal. Now into the now this far into the Great Tribulation. Absolutely absurd, dude. So anyways, yeah. There's a precursor to getting to this point in their minds. The thing that has to happen before they get to the point where they're being hunted is their message turns from one of good news to judgment. And it's just one line in this bunker video. It's a forgettable line. You wouldn't even know it's there unless you knew what you were looking for.
When our message changed from good news to judgment, he was telling everyone that it would make problems for us.
It sounds like Jehovah's Witnesses as an organization are in the process of changing their message from one of good news to judgment. Quick interjection. I won't take long. I just wanted to tell you guys, YouTube's algorithm operates off of a few factors. Watch time, whether or not you subscribe, and whether or not you like something. So if you really want to help my channel, I would appreciate it if you guys watch the video to the end. If you don't watch it to the end, just watch a little bit longer than you would have otherwise. I would appreciate that very much. All right, let's get back to the video. It sounds like Jehovah's Witnesses as an organization are in the process of changing their message from one of good news to judgment. What that means is instead of knocking on people's door and trying to convert people, telling them to come into the religion and join, they want them to be a part of this and everything to save their life, they're just going to knock on doors and look them in the eye and say, you are f***ed, and walk away. Basically, that's what a message of judgment is, pretty much. People on the XJW subreddit are a little bit freaked out about what's going on at the moment, because as I said, a lot of people on the subreddit are freshly out of the religion, or not even completely out, or asking questions, things like that. The reason people are so freaked out about this message of good news to judgment is, I don't want to show any of these, but there are a lot of text messages that can be found between people on the XJW subreddit and their still active Jehovah's Witness family members who are desperately trying to get their family, the people on the subreddit, back into the religion immediately because it's changing from good news to judgment. When it changes to a message of judgment, you cannot join anymore, and that's it. Armageddon is right around the corner, and that's the end of it for you, right? So the reason everyone's so freaked out about it is because in a recent JW Broadcasting episode, which is Jehovah's Witnesses' monthly TV show they release, everyone's supposed to sit around as a family and watch it. It's so cringy and terrible. They basically came out and said it. Watch this. He covers up his little... This is, by the way, what he's got next to him. It's his little witnessing thing. It's probably his little cart. And he's covering up his Jehovah's Witnesses logo so nobody knows he's a Jehovah's Witness. Wow.
Good morning. Sorry I was running a little behind this morning, but at least I come bearing gifts.
They're probably out about to do the street witnessing thing they do with the carts and everything, and they planned to meet each other at this location. This is cringy.
Thank you. I could really use it today.
Were you also thinking about that announcement about the special preaching campaign?
Special preaching campaign. You can hear the police radio in the background. This is propaganda. This is how propaganda works, for real. Every sound, every frame, everything, background characters and all, is all in here for a specific reason. They're trying to freak Jehovah's Witnesses out with this because fear sells. Fear builds loyalty. People are less likely to leave the religion if they are living in fear 24/7. However, before I continue this, I do want to point out this is not the first time they gave one of these messages. They were passing out this tract right here. The end of false religion is near, and it was basically a "fuck you" message. We're going to take a look at it in a couple of minutes, but before we do, let's continue on with this thing here. See, they're watching police walk by and everything and stare at them because they believe they're going to be in like a police state soon, just like in the bunker video, remember?
From good news to judgment, he was telling everyone that it would make problems for us and that he was done.
I mean, at the end of this video, not to spoil it, I'm sure most ex-Jehovah's Witnesses at least have probably seen it, but there's this whole scary part at the end. He's staring at the knob like he's going to use the force to prevent it from opening or something. Just absurd, dude. Seriously. Dr. Hayes points out aptly, SWAT does not rattle doorknobs. They blow or bash the door in, then flash bang. That's pretty accurate. Fair enough. They have a built-in fear of police because they think that they're going to be hunted like Jews in Nazi Germany, for real. Anyway, keep watching this.
Also thinking about that announcement about the special preaching campaign?
They really play up fear well, don't they? Experts at it.
Yeah, I was. Don't take what I'm gonna say the wrong way, but don't you think the message we'll be preaching is pretty harsh?
No, I wouldn't say that. But it's definitely very direct.
I mean, people already get defensive whenever you challenge their beliefs, and this is gonna be next level.
I.e., this isn't going to be productive. What are you thinking, Jehovah's Witnesses? Putting out a message of good news to judgment like this, changing over to judgment? What are you thinking? You think you're going to bring people in? The answer is no, they don't. They just want to scare the shit out of everybody they can. And if that's only the people that are knocking on the doors, fine. That works for them, seemingly.
This isn't going to be the easiest message to deliver, But you know, it's not the first time we've done this.
Really?
Absolutely. I don't know if you remember me telling you that my family's originally from Quebec, and my dad was part of an incredibly hard-hitting witness back in the 40s. I looked this up last night.
The thing that's really scaring them right now is that any time, any 5 minutes now, Armageddon could come. And it won't come until they're in a good news to judgment phase. And they're entering one right now, so this could be it. That's what's scaring them.
He had to distribute a tract that called out the local religious leaders as hypocrites.
What were they doing?
They were inciting their followers to mob violence against the witnesses, telling them to vandalize our properties, even getting brothers falsely arrested and imprisoned.
Wow. And they had to distribute that tract during the violence.
They had to. Jehovah wanted to show how unjust their actions were.
That's a really, really bad idea, but okay. I mean, everything Jehovah's Witnesses say in this is fabricated and here for a very specific reason, so don't actually believe anything they say without looking it up directly yourself. They say the sky is blue. Double check it. Seriously. Don't trust anything they say in this. It's propaganda.
But I remember my dad telling me, he said that initially he was pretty terrified.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel. I'm terrified.
This is so sad, dude. They're trying to terrify their people.
It's normal to feel that way. I've been thinking about it myself. And I thought of an account in Exodus.
Well, anyway, now they're going off on a whole thing. We don't need to listen to all that. But the point is, they've done this before, and not just in a focused, directed way like the Quebec thing, or Quebec, or whatever the hell you call it. I seem to remember seeing this tract around my house. I don't actually remember passing it out. So I just want to kind of glance through it and see what their message of good news to judgment was at the time. Oh, it's the mid-2000s. Maybe I just wasn't really paying any attention to the message. Okay, I guess that's what it was. Unfortunately, this tract is really hard to find in a short amount of time. I could probably find a copy if I had more time to look into it, but I want to talk about this now. So the only place I could find to talk about this tract or to find this tract is on Jehovah's Witnesses' website. Now, Jehovah's Witnesses are notorious for changing their tracts, changing their literature after the fact to be less abrasive or to say something other than what it actually said, or to soften the message generally, because they stick their foot in their mouth a lot. And when they stick their foot in their mouth, they like to cover up any tracks of it. Like that one time they claimed that 1975 was going to be the end of the world, and they had a catchphrase, stay alive to 75 and everything. And they went back and retroactively changed all their literature to erase any mentions of 1975 being the year that God changes everything and Armageddon starts.
Well, now, as Jehovah's Witnesses, as runners, even though some of us have become a little weary, it almost seems as though Jehovah has provided meat in due season, because he's held up before all of us a new goal, a new year, something to reach out for, and it just seems has given all of us so much more energy and power in this final burst of speed for the finish line. And that's the year 1975. As one brother put it, stay alive to 75.
They like to pretend that never happened. And they went back and changed their literature to reflect that false reality that it never happened. So anyways, I would like to find this from a different source than Jehovah's Witnesses' website, but it is what it is. We're just going to kind of scan through it for a second, see what it says here. Oh, by the way, before we start, I think this came out in the early to mid-2000s, as far as I can tell. 2001, I think. 2000, 2001, somewhere in that vicinity. Are you distressed about crimes committed in the name of religion? Oh, this is probably immediately after September 11th. Do the warfare, terrorism, and corruption perpetrated by those who claim to serve God offend your sense of justice? Why does religion seem to be at the root of so many problems? The fault lies not with all religion, but with false religion. Islam, probably. a widely respected religious figure, Jesus Christ, widely respected religious figure, they say, indicated that false religion produces bad works, just as rotten tree produces worthless fruit. What fruit does false religion yield? False religion meddles in war and politics, spreads false doctrine, tolerates immoral sex. Really? Okay. What does the future hold for religions that produce rotten fruit? Jesus warned, every tree not producing fine fruit gets cut down and thrown into the fire. I.e., if you are not a member of Jehovah's Witnesses, this is the message of good news to judgment. You are going to be cut down and thrown into a fire like a tree. Yes, false religion will be chopped down and destroyed, but how and when will this happen? A prophetic vision recorded in the Bible book of Revelation, chapter 17 and 18, provides the answer. No, it doesn't. The book of Revelation doesn't even really belong in the Bible. I don't even want to get into it right now, but it was talking about Nero, not Satan or whatever. It was just a certain genre of writing that Christians were writing at the time because they're pissed off that they're being persecuted by Nero's, administration or his whatever you want to call it. So they said things in a veiled way so as not to get thrown into prison themselves. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. How will false religion end? Picture the scene, a harlot sitting on the back of a fearsome beast. Oh, I have a picture of this. I know Jehovah's Witnesses actually painted pictures of this, and it's burned into my brain from when I was little. This is the picture I saw when I was little. This was part of, I think this is from maybe the Bible storybook, this little storybook that they give to children. And she's drinking the blood of the innocent in that chalice or something. Just disturbing stuff. This is an updated version of the picture. My God, dude. They know how to scare the shit out of people, don't they? Oh, she's a whore. Yeah, she's the whore of Babylon. Forgot to mention. The whore of Babylon sits on the back of the scarlet-colored beast drinking the blood of the innocent out of a chalice. Anyway, disturbing as it gets, for real. So they said to picture the scene. We don't have to. They pictured it for us. Picture the scene. A harlot is sitting on the back of a fearsome beast. The beast has 7 heads and 10 horns. Whom does a harlot represent? She exerts influence over the kings of the earth. She dresses in purple, uses incense, and is exceedingly wealthy. Jehovah's Witnesses believe that this supposed harlot is the United Nations, by the way. There's a whole big reason for that I'm not going to get into, but anyway. God, it's crazy. She dresses in purple, uses incense, and is exceedingly wealthy. In addition, by means of her spiritistic practice, all the nations are misled. The Bible helps us to see that this harlot is a worldwide religious entity. She depicts not any one religion, but all religions that produce rotten fruit. The beast that the harlot rides pictures the world's political powers. False religion straddles the back of this political beast, attempting to influence its decisions and control its direction. Soon, though, an amazing event will take place. The 10 horns that you saw and the wild beast, these will hate the harlot and will make her devastated and naked and will eat up her fleshy parts and will completely burn her with fire. What a disturbing thing to put in a Bible storybook for little kids, right? Seriously. I mean, they quoted the Bible all through this Bible storybook. Anyway, yeah, Jehovah's Witnesses have been fear-mongering like this since day one. They've been trying to scare people into staying into the religion for decades, nay, centuries. They've existed since 1874. It's basically been since then. So to the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses who are a little freaked out by this, or to the current Jehovah's Witnesses who are messaging their family members trying to get them to rejoin or whatever, this is not the first time. Don't fall for it, okay? Yeah, let me know what you think about it. I think Jehovah's Witnesses are shameless and willing to do whatever it takes to keep people in the religion, to scare them half to death, and to bring new people in if possible. The real goal, though, is to prevent anybody else from leaving. They lost a lot of people during COVID because they kind of unplugged the brainwashing when they started doing online meetings rather than like going in person, and they lost a ton of people as a result. They got to make up for that deficit, I guess, and prevent others from leaving. Anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. It's just cringy, man.